So tonight we're addressing chronic anxiety and hopelessness about the future. You know, that feeling where your brain constantly tries to predict disasters, anticipate collapse, mentally simulate worst case scenarios, and convince you that everything ahead is unstable, right? And many people today live psychologically trapped in the future, not physically, but mentally, thinking constantly, what if everything gets worse? What if I never stabilize? What if AI replaces my job? What if I fail? What if nothing improves? And eventually, the nervous system remains stuck in permanent anticipation. So tonight's first song captures that atmosphere perfectly. The song that reminds us about the problem is Land of Confusion by Genesis. And despite sounding energetic musically, this song is full of anxiety, with social confusion, political instability, fear about where the world is heading, and some lines feel almost frighteningly modern now. It says, too many men, too many people, making too many problems. And that line alone already sounds like modern information overload. With too many headlines, too many crises, too many opinions, too much stimulation. And psychologically, the brain begins feeling unsafe continuously. And then another important line in the song says, this is the world we live in. And many people today quietly feel emotionally trapped inside uncertainty, as if the future itself became psychologically threatening. And this is where tonight's psychological tool becomes very important. And the tool is cognitive reframing and present focus grounding. And one of the biggest traps anxious minds fall into is this: mentally living in imagined futures. The brain constantly tries to predict, to control, to simulate, and catastrophize. But psychologically, most of those scenarios are not reality. They are mental projections. And the more the mind rehearses catastrophic futures, the more the nervous system behaves as if danger is happening right now. So, one of the most important psychological techniques for chronic anxiety is learning to separate possibilities from certainties. Because anxious minds often treat possibilities as guarantees. So instead of saying everything is doomed, my future is destroyed, nothing will work out, the brain learns to say, I am imagining a negative possibility, not a certainty. And that tiny change sounds simple, but psychologically is huge because it creates distance between you and the catastrophic thought. And another very important technique is this one: returning your attention to controllable actions. Because anxious minds constantly try to solve the entire future right now, in 1 second, right? But psychologically, human beings function much better when they return attention toward what can I actually do today and not solve my whole life tonight in 5 seconds. But what is one useful action I can take tomorrow? One call, one application, one walk, one conversation, one skill. I think this was the part I realized I was talking alone with my microphone because I was joking that I almost sing the One Vision. I almost say One Vision like the Queen song. As I got into this rap of one call, one walk, one skill, one vision. But I mean, one healthy habit, one small task at a time. Small controllable actions calm the nervous system much more effectively than endless catastrophic thinking. And that emotional transition brings us perfectly into tonight's solution song. And the solution song that reminds us about the solution to this when we fall into these patterns is Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. And this may be one of the most psychologically comforting songs of the entire 80s, because the song does not deny suffering, but instead acknowledges failure, fear, uncertainty, and emotional exhaustion. But it refuses hopelessness. There is this line that connects perfectly with tonight's topic in the song that says, "There is a place where we belong." And psychologically, that line matters deeply because anxious hopelessness convinces people that they no longer belong anywhere. There's no future, no place, no direction. But psychologically, human beings need meaning, need belonging, and need emotional orientation. And sometimes survival begins simply by refusing to completely abandon hope during uncertainty. So, one of the most dangerous things chronic anxiety does is convince people that catastrophic thoughts are reality, but thoughts are not prophecies, and the future is not fully written yet. So, tonight's reminder is this: don't let the mind emotionally move into disasters that have not happened. Return your attention toward the present, small actions, real human connections, and manageable steps and actions and small tasks that you can do now. Because psychologically, hope is not built through solving your entire future tonight in 5 seconds. It's often built through small, repeated moments of movement forward. And that may be one of the most important psychological skills for surviving this modern life. Alright guys, that's been Tools for These Times, covering getting two songs to remind us the problem and the solution.